Saint Sharbel Makhlouf was born in Bekaa Kafra on May 8, 1828. Bekaa Kafra is a small mountain village, the highest in Lebanon and the Middle East, 1,560 meters above sea level, in the region of Bsharri, North Lebanon. Bekaa Kafra overlooks the valley of Qadeesha, where Charbel had two uncles living as monks in the monastery of Saint Anthony of Kozhayah. They were a source of inspiration and models for him. He was baptized on August 16, 1828, with the name of Youssef Antoun Makhlouf. He was the fifth child in a poor yet respectable and devout family, having two older brothers and two older sisters. His father died on August 8, 1831, as he was returning home after compulsory enlistment in the Turkish Army under the Ottoman rule in Lebanon. Youssef was very pious, so much that his fellow villagers used to call him the Saint. Daily, he used to take a small herd to the fields where he would let them graze while he went to a nearby grotto to fall into deep prayer in front of an icon of the Virgin Mary. This grotto became his altar and his first hermitage. In 1851, at the age of 23, he left his family and village to start his first year of novitiate in the monastery of Makhlouf. He chose the name Charbel in the honor of a 2nd century martyr in the Antiochian church. In 1852, he moved to the monastery of Anaya for his 2nd year of novitiate. There, on November 1, 1853, he professed his monastic vows of chastity, poverty, and obedience. He received his formation in theology at the monastery of Saints Cyprian and Justina in Kufen between the years 1853 and 1859. Father Naamtallah al-Hardini, canonized on May 17, 2004, was the teacher of Saint Charbel and his fellow seminarians. On July 23, 1859, Saint Charbel was ordained priest of the Lebanese Maronite order. He spent 16 years in the monastery of Anaya, praying and working in the fields with his brother monks. He was unhesitatingly obedient to his superiors, faithfully observed all the rules, and lived a life of sacrifice under austere conditions. His request to move to the hermitage of Saints Peter and Paul on a nearby hill was approved after his superior witnessed the miracle of the lamp. One night, Saint Charbel asked a worker at the monastery to refill the oil lamp that he was using. Although the worker filled it with water instead of oil, the lamp still gave light as usual and kept burning throughout the night. February 15, 1875, marked the first day of his life in the hermitage. There, he continued to live for 23 years. He spent his time in prayer, contemplation, and worship, as well as in diligent manual labor in the fields and vineyards. He was a model of self-sacrifice and total detachment from the world. Saint Charbel reflected the grace and strength that God had granted him through living the monastic virtues of chastity, poverty, and obedience. He never left the hermitage except by request of his superiors, who would ask him to go out to heal the sick. He came to be known as the saint inebriated with God. During his life, Saint Charbel not only healed people from physical diseases, but also from spiritual ones, even casting out demons. While celebrating the Divine Liturgy on December 16, 1898, he suffered a stroke and endured 8 days of terrible pain, calmly, silently, and prayerfully. Saint Charbel kept repeating the prayer he could not finish in the Divine Liturgy. He would also repeat the names of Jesus, Mary, Joseph, as well as Saints Peter and Paul, the patron saints of the hermitage. He died on Christmas Eve, 1898, and was buried at the monastery on a very cold and snowy day. Only a few monks were able to attend his burial. Following his death, people started to report seeing lights around his tomb. When church authorities opened the tomb, they found Saint Charbel's body incorrupt and exuding sweat and blood. On April 15, 1899, the Maronite Patriarch allowed the body to be transferred to a special coffin, which was placed in a new tomb inside the monastery. Pilgrims began flocking to his tomb and praying for his intercession. God granted many of them physical healings and spiritual blessings. Saint Charbel's cause was officially presented to Pope Pius on December 12, 1925. Because of the exuding of sweat and blood, Saint Charbel's coffin and tomb had to be changed several times through the years. On July 24, 1927, the body was transferred to a third tomb. In 1950, Saint Charbel's tomb was opened in the presence of certified doctors and members of an official committee from the church and the Lebanese government, who verified the integrity of the body. They wrote a medical report and put it in a box inside the coffin. Immediately, healings proliferated in an amazing fashion. Tens of thousands of pilgrims of different religions and communities flocked to the monastery of Anaya, asking the intercession of the holy hermit. Saint Charbel's body continued to bleed and perspire for 65 years after his death. The miraculous healing of Sister Maria Abel-Kamari from a gastric ulcer on July 12, 1950. Sister Kamari suffered from a liver, gallbladder, and kidney dysfunction. Her intestines were also stuck together. She would vomit most of her food with blood. Her right hand became paralyzed and she needed help to walk. 3 times she was on the brink of death. The miraculous healing near the end of 1950 of Mr. Alexander Obeid, who regained sight in his right eye, which had been blinded in an accident in 1937. On October 9, 1977, His Holiness Saint Paul presided over the canonization ceremony of Blessed Charbel in the Vatican Basilica. The miraculous healing of Miriam Awad from throat cancer in 1967 was accepted as the official miracle for canonization.